Hello and welcome to the video. In this video we're actually going to continue our topic on OOP programming or object-oriented programming and just kind of show the concepts and different ways to use them, initialize them, create them, build them. Okay, now you've been working with objects throughout the whole tutorial so far. Little did you know, but we did in our last video, a couple videos, we've created attributes and kind of profiled what it looks like to create an object. Then we did actually went and created these objects. We have person, character, cell phone, and car. Okay, and now we looked at we've created all the attributes that make up a person, and we've talked about different methods that we're going to need to create in order for us to kind of use and make this object usable when we would like. Okay, so the first one we're going to work on is this accessors. Okay, and this one is pretty simple. It's fairly straightforward. An accessor is used when we would like to see or view the data that is pertaining to a single variable or a single attribute. Okay, now how we do this is we just create a method. We can say public, and then we can say void. Well, in this term we'll just put void for now, and then we'll say get underscore first, and then it would be following the name of your actual variable. Okay, so however you named your variable, if you were a camel caser dude, you like to do it that way, then just stay in that same kind of method here, but definitely go with the get underscore way of going about doing this. Okay, just do get underscore and then do your camel casing afterwards. It doesn't really matter how you name it. Depending on where you work, you'll have naming conventions for everything as well anyways. Okay, so we have this one for our get first name. Okay, and what we're looking to do is it's actually going to return the first name to the program. Okay, and this might not seem very useful for you at the moment, but just know that this is what accessors do. They allow you to use these or to show individual type attributes to the program when we need to. Okay, so what we're going to do is we actually have to, the first name is a type of string, so we're going to return the string. All right, and all we're simply going to do in here is type return, and then we would use first. Oh, I gotta change this back. It's not how I do it. You can do it however you wish. First name. Okay, we're just going to simply return first name. Now this, when we were talking before about scope of a variable, this is very important to understand on this part here. Okay, because these attributes are actually in the overall class file. They're kind of global to everything. Okay, they're allowed to be used everywhere, but you'll see that you know, in this form it's not necessarily all that bad. It could be pertaining to this guy here. Okay, but to make sure that it is absolutely 100% pointing to this point here, there's this keyword. It's called this and then a period. Okay, and you can see that it actually, now we can click that first name, we'll get rid of this thing, and that will actually pertain to this variable. Okay, you use the keyword this to kind of represent this file. So this file is keyword this, and then these would be the attributes that are actually pertaining inside of your person class. Okay, very simple. Don't overthink it. You use the this keyword to reference these values or variables. Okay, and this works because it's within this actual file. Okay, so you're saying I want to use this file's first name variable. All right, fairly simple, and we can keep going down the list, and all we got to simply do is go put this guy here. We got our accessor now for, we can get now the last name. Okay, and then we'll just say this last name. Simply done. Fairly easy. It's a string type that we're returning. We don't have to change nothing there. Now we can come down here, create our next accessor. It's a byte type, so we're going to change this now to return an actual byte, and we'll say return this age. Okay, and we'll say get age. Fairly straightforward. We're now creating accessors that we can use in outside programs to start to see the values that are saved inside here. All right. The next one's a double, so we'll change this to a double. We're saying this is now get centimeters. Okay, and we're going to say get this height in centimeters. We got one more for pounds. Okay, get and then we just simply, you could even do this because we're actually just using that. And there you go, done. So now all of our accessor methods are all set up and ready to go. So for every one that you do have, for every attribute you should have at least one accessor. Now, you don't necessarily need it if you don't want to show it. If you don't ever want anybody to see the values that could be saved in here, then simply just don't have one. All right, it's perfectly fine. You don't have to have it. It's A1. It's all good. And you might notice beforehand when we were going, we use this keyword static. Static now has a very different meaning, so we don't need it here right now. Okay, there is a point where we can use it and need it, and I'll get to that later, but at this point we do not need that. Okay, we're going to make public and then just the actual return type. Okay, static's a different meaning when you're inside of a object file. Okay, so just make sure you don't put that static or you will get errors. Okay, it's not right in this context, and you'll see right here it says non-static variable. This cannot be referenced from a static context. Okay, we'll talk more about what that means. Okay, so we got accessors made in our person class. If you want, we can jump over to our car. We got the car now. We can do the same thing. We can make all the getters. They're called getters for the most part. You might hear that quite a bit. So we go public string, go like this. Get manufacturer. Okay, and that line. Oh. Done. Now we can continue. We got how many more? Okay. That one's done. Done. Doors are done. Oh, not done. We gotta get this changed. We got wheels. And wheel. Now we can call this door. We'll just call it door. Generally keep it to what it actually means. I guess door count. You can say you should be more you should be as precise as you can with the naming of it so that it makes sense later, because if you said door, it's like, well, what does that even mean? Okay, just be kind of precise with what the names are that you're giving it. Just helps you and other programmers that you're working with to, you know, use it a lot easier. So we'll jump in. We'll do our cell phone now. Real quick. You can see this doesn't take no time at all to get this all set up, and you'll see the power of it when we actually start using it. And this is we are making something here. It's not all for nothing. If you just hit that, it'll even come up. Fairly easy. going on here? Oh, there we go. My bad. Now we got the width. It's double, so good. We got the length. Be sure to pick the proper data types for what you're storing. Make sure that you're doing it properly that wise too. Okay, there's our getters. So the double, now it's a string. Okay, so there you go. That's now the CellPhone one with all the accessors created, and I got the character. So go into character now. We'll do accessors and mutators. Public. Our first one's going to return a string. We're going to say get underscore name. Right, and if it's going too fast for you, if I'm just kind of working a little bit too quick, then just pause it and kind of catch up as you go. It's really not too important. You're not, it's, you know, just as long as you're getting this and you're kind of seeing how they're created, how a getter or a accessor would be actually used, then, or created, that's all you really need to know. And I'm doing as many as I can so that you kind of get the gist of exactly how they get made. Like, repetition is key. If you do this enough, and I've done this enough to where you don't have to worry about it. There is things that help you with this too, but you got to learn how to do it. So definitely when you're going to work with databases, you're going to see this quite a bit. You'll be tired of writing these things out for a long while. But I mean, they're nothing. It's pretty fun. This stuff, it's pretty decent. It's actually I don't know, programming's pretty fun stuff when you know what you're doing with it. And it's not hard. Like, a lot of people might scare you, it's hard, or that there's a lot of concepts that are difficult, but it's actually not. It's pretty simple. You just gotta not fight it. Oh, we need to get defense this time. But it's just things that you have to follow. There's rules to the game, and you gotta know the rules in order to play the game properly, right? So there's a lot of rules I don't know to the game, but learning, be willing to learn, be willing to be flexible and learn. You got to learn a lot in this trade or in this field. There's always a new programming language that's coming out that's better and bigger, and a lot of times it's like fanboy stuff where everybody just keeps jumping on the bandwagon. And so we had special spell wrong there, so let me know. Didn't turn. That's the power of IDE as well. So just be watchful of that and be willing to learn them though. Once you get the basics of a programming language, though, they're all pretty much the same. It's just they use a different syntax or a different way of going about doing pretty much the same thing over and over again. So with minor differences, there's sometimes it could get daunting, but once you get the gist of one, you can move in and out of all of them pretty, I don't know, relatively easy. I haven't had any kind of issues finding my way in and out of other ones. I've had to learn like C# for jobs, and I've done it. It's not that hard, same kind of thing again. It's got its own quirks, its own way of doing stuff. I've learned C++ and Python and JavaScript and you name it, there's languages out there that I got. And it's not hard, it's all the same kind of stuff. It may be a little bit different writing style or the way that they implement it, but for the most part, you'll see the differences or the similarities in it all. So that's it. There's our gets, our accessors all created up. So if you need to pause the video and just go and finish all those off, or there's something you didn't see, we have them all done here. We have all of our character ones done now. They're all ready to go. You can pause it there and just finish those off. It's fairly simplistic, fairly quick, fairly easy to do. Okay, so that's your mute or your accessors now. Okay, in our next video we'll look at the actual ways of doing the mutators. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions or ideas for future, put in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe, check out the rest of the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.